Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben, and this is 3T's Mobile Automotive Repair. You got another ride along today. It is Wednesday, April 23rd, and we have got 7 on the list for you today. Mostly all checkouts. One a little bit bigger later. It's a 4-wheel brake job and a passenger mirror that is completely broke off. And I think I have to do some type of inspection or diagnosis on it that she called and asked to add on to it. I just don't remember what it was because that was last week. So let's go get at this day and let's get some stuff done. I'll see you guys along the way. All right, guys, we're out. We're at our first job. Do you hear that? Something got pushed on in my cart. There it is. You weren't even looking. It was pushing on the buttons in the drawers, making the impact run. Okay, now that I know my trailer's not gonna blow up. Anyway, we are at our first job of the day. So I just went and spoke to the young lady. I already know what I'm doing on this. It's a purge valve, because, you know, typical crappy purge valves, they're supposed to be a normally closed valve and they will be normally open, but she also mentioned her headlights don't work, so we're going to take a look at that while we're here. But first, let's do our purge valve stuff. Something I looked at a while ago that you guys never saw, but either way, we're going to get it swapped out real fast, make sure it's all right, and then do the headlight crap. Got it. But this one's not coming out, and it's kind of pissing. Damn it, I forgot my flashlight and my screwdrivers today. Ugh. Well, I was gonna say it's a good start to the day, but then I don't know where my tools are. It's got this whatever in here, but this one won't come out. The stud won't come out of the intake, so I'm not screwing with it, because if I keep screwing with it, something's gonna break, and I don't want that to happen on the intake. So we're just gonna have to leave that in there and put this onto those little rubber grommets. I can't talk right now, my brain is stupid. Anyway, let me know if you can hear it. It's supposed to be normally closed. So, yeah. Where's that damn high beam? It's these two 10 amps right here. So high beam has power at the fuse. All right, so it looks like we've got HID, which we knew, but so we have here in the fuse box right here. Oh my gosh. We have the headlamp high beam relay, which we have power on these two fuses. So that tells us this relay is good. I need to check our low beam fuses, make sure those are good. If they are, that means this relay is good. And then our problem is either going to be somewhere in here or just blown out bulbs. Or it's a ballast. Oh, you're not even looking, sorry. Or it's a ballast. So here's our right headlamp and here's our left headlamp. So it's just pretty basic stuff, but I got to make sure we're paying attention to the right fuses and everything before I start ripping wheel wells out of it. Well, I don't see a low beam relay anywhere. All I see is the high beam fuses, and that's it. All right, we're at our second job here. Just to give you a quick update though on the first job, customer did go for the diagnosis on the headlights. So we're gonna get that scheduled next week. Now, I know some of you ask some questions on that sometimes, and you're like, well, why don't you do it while you're there? Well, we don't, because I like to run this like a shop. We call that like exit scheduling. So as the customer is leaving the shop, or in my case, I'm leaving the customer where they are, if we find stuff that the vehicle needs outside of why we were there, we do exit scheduling. So that way we have repetitive business continuing on week after week. So to give you a for instance, so to just touch base with you, this kind of goes into like my scheduling. So right now for next week, right, today's only Wednesday, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So right now I've got 16 jobs that are ready to put on the schedule for next week, and today's only Wednesday. So I have spots. I will only give myself 10 more spots. I won't take more than that. So that's the whole point of exit scheduling, is to make sure that we're always repeating the schedule and we're getting customers, because my phone's gonna ring. It's always gonna ring, and we're gonna continue to get more and more customers day in and day out. So again, part of that exit scheduling is just to make sure we fill in all those empty spots and things like that, and more revenue. Like some of you have asked or said, you know, how do you survive on only, you know, doing 20 to 25 cars a week now, when some of you that follow me know from the beginning that I was doing 40 cars a week and I still was making the same money. So 40 cars a week at $5,000 a week versus 20 to 25 cars a week at $5,000 a week is a huge difference in average per RO and profit margin. So it's better. So you got to look at it this way. If you've got 10 cars in your bay throughout your day or your week or whatever you're doing, just whatever numbers you want to think of, you've already got the work sitting there. You don't need to spend $1 million on advertising to get more and more people in because you're only making this. You need to refine your process. Your process needs to be it needs to be more streamlined. So you've got a car that's sitting in front of you. So like that one, for instance, granted the customer mentioned the headlights, but let's say she didn't, and we saw it and went ahead and sold her that. We could also sell her the fact that she has an airbag light on and she's got tire monitor lights on where no pressures are reading in any of the tires. Now granted, I'm not a shop, so I don't do tire work and I can't drop I can't put sensors in tires, but you get what I'm saying. I guarantee you, every car that's in your bay, unless it's brand new, you can sell another hour, right? So let's think about that. If I'm doing, let's just do 20 cars a week. If I have 20 cars a week and I'm only doing $5,000 a week, if I sell one more hour on every single one of those cars, how much is that? If we're just saying that we're $100 an hour, which I'm not, I'm more than that, but $100 times 20 is how much? $2,000? That's $2,000 a week extra in total gross revenue. That's minimum $8,000 a month, right? But if we say we work 50 weeks a year, not 52, and $2,000 a week, how much is that? Was that another 100 grand on the year? Right? Yeah, that's another $100,000 on the year in total gross revenue that is sitting in your shop already that you're missing and losing out on. All you have to do is look, open your eyes, take pictures, take 15 minutes on each car to do a DVI. And I'm gonna be straight up with you, I don't do it. I am the laziest bastard when it comes to that because I'm doing so much stuff. That is the whole point of my wife coming to work with me, is so us together can actually do that and make this business be more like an auto repair shop than it already is. Sell those jobs. You already have it sitting in your bay. Don't leave the money on the table. You will make the money. Just pay attention to the car and do right by that customer. Okay, so we're here at the second job, AC check. I've got pressure on there. I don't know if it's a ton of pressure, but so I got a relay tester in, not a tester, but like so I can touch pins. Oh, my belt just came undone. So the circuit, it's loud over there. So the circuit on this one, the fuse is before the relay. It's not after the relay. So let me just show you that on screen. So this is the relay for the AC compressor. Fuse is before it. So if the fuse was after it, all I would have to do is test right here at the relay fuse, and that would tell me that my relay is actually okay. Being that the fuse is before it, I can't do that. Compressor's on the ground. I don't feel like laying on the ground right now to get to that, so I'm gonna just do some circuit tests up here to see what I got. Okay, so this is what I did. I know it might be a little bit loud here because the truck's running, but that's all I got. So test light is hooked up to power, so if I touch the ground, it comes on. So I have these two leads back pinned into the compressor down there. So I got ground on the red. Let's see what I got on this blue. And I got power on that. So I'm gonna load it. Unfortunately, all I have is this big Tesla bulb, but we'll see if we get a light on this. And we do. All right. So there you go. Just get a little creative, and you don't have to lay on the ground like everyone thinks that I have to do all the time. So what does that tell us? That tells us that this compressor is a big giant pile of crap. Or the clutch is at the minimum, it's the clutch, but we're gonna sell a whole compressor on it. So yeah, got pressure, but I am, because we're here and we're getting paid, we're gonna go ahead and do a recovery on it just to make sure that it's full, and I keep undoing my belt so my pants are falling down. Because if this thing's low, this goes back to what I just told you. You can sell a leak check on top of what we're already doing, because if it has a leak, the system still won't run. So we have to confirm that it actually can do its job when we put the compressor in it. So make sure you cover your bases. All right, I'm at my second job, F-150. It's pretty loud. This is an AC check also. Compressor is running. These are the pressures right now. 50 over 50. So what do you guys think the problem is? Before I even do anything, what do you think the problem is? Put it in the comments, and then come back and check. But I think we either have one of two issues here: low on refrigerant, and or that compressor is no good. Chances are that compressor is no good, and we're low on refrigerant at the same time. So what we're going to do is shut it off. And then we'll do our basic evacuation just to see how much is in it. This is a 4.2, but what year is it? Okay, yeah, it's got nothing in it. It's only at 0.17. So we might as well just leave that alone. We know electronically it works, but before I do a full recharge to make sure that the performance of it's good, we're gonna do a leak check on it real quick. Okay, I cannot find this leak. So I need to dump this nitrogen because we're gonna have to do some other stupid things to get this figured out here. We're probably gonna have to get it recharged with some dye in it because I can't find it. This is probably an insanely slow leak, or it only does it on rotation on that compressor. Because the compressor, if you look at that clutch, it's rusted up and beat up. Those, just from experience, is a telltale sign that we sometimes will get the leaks out of that front seal on rotation, and it won't leak when we're just sitting stagnant like this. I've had it before, so that's probably the route we're gonna have to go on this. So I gotta go talk to the customer, let her know what our next step is, and then we'll go from there. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get it refilled to make sure performance-wise works, and you know, with green dye and all that other happy stuff. So I'll see you guys on the next job. exactly why. Let me just shut this off real quick. So that is exactly why you do an initial full-out inspection when it comes to AC work. I couldn't find the leak, and I just told you that there is the possibility that the leak is coming from the front of that compressor. And that noise, that everything, just look at the clutch. Do you see how hot that clutch has been getting? When it gets really hot, when the vehicle's being used, it'll leak out of that front seal. Even though I have no evidence on it when it's sitting still and it's cold, the hotter it gets, that's where it'll more than likely end up leaking from, because I have no other indication anywhere else in the entire system on where this thing's leaking from. So again, this is why you do full out inspection, because, and okay, again, please don't get me wrong here, but this is one of those reasons why it pays to have this equipment. Because let's say you're just coming out and you don't have a recovery machine. You don't know how much refrigerant you took out. You don't know how much refrigerant you put back in. You don't know what basis to start at. So in this situation, she has two problems, a leak and a compressor failure. That compressor doesn't pump at all. I didn't even bother showing you the gauges, but it doesn't pump. It doesn't do anything. The internals of it are completely shot. So it needs a compressor. More than likely, that is exactly where it's leaking. I can't really prove that to you today because I'm not letting that run listening to that for the next 20 minutes, waiting for it to get hot and then doing another leak check. It's just not happening. So we'll note the ticket that there was a leak, the compressor is no good, and that the front clutch is burnt and melting, and that's more than likely where our leak is at. But again, just wanted to show you firsthand why using this equipment and actually recharging it full with the proper amount to make sure the system can or cannot perform before you sell anything else is key. And charge for that. Don't not charge for it. Don't be like, oh, we're going to do this for free. No, they pay to do this, and I bring all of this up front to the customer before we do anything. So anyway, that's what I'm going to go with on it, because that's my experience with this. We're going to sell a compressor. We'll probably sell an accumulator on it also. This does have an orifice tube, so we'll sell an orifice tube, an accumulator, a compressor, let them know that there was a leak and that there is a chance that there could be a problem with it later on down the road as far as leaks are concerned, but we will put dye in it to let us find that leak later on. But chances are there won't be one. It'll be that compressor. So anyway, we're done here now finally, so I'll see you guys on the next job. Okay, so this next job here, we got this older Ford Taurus. So I'm not really sure why, but there was a while back where this customer got mad at me, and it was through a text message. I don't remember the conversation, but I know it was along the lines of she asked me to do something, and I said, well, I can't do that. I would have to come out and look at the car first, blah, blah, blah. And she took it a certain way, and she got mad, and she went somewhere else for a little while. I guess that didn't work out for her, so she called back. Now, she didn't bring that up or apologize or ask questions about it, so I'm not bringing it up. But I think it's funny because wherever she was, they said she needed brakes. She doesn't need brakes. Those rotors and pads in there are brand new. Oh, by the way, that was at the dealer. And then there was another shop that she was going to that said that she had oil leaks. She doesn't have any oil leaks. There's no oil leaking anywhere on that engine. And the dealer told her the same thing, like, ma'am, we cleaned your engine off. There's nothing under there at all. There's no oil drippage. She's never had a spot on the, it's not a driveway, but the dirt that she has here. So I really don't know what's going on. So this is probably going to be the last time I ever work on this car. I don't even know why I took the job, but I think it was more because I was intrigued by it. I was curious why she stopped using us. But whatever, it doesn't matter. So today what we got to do, the passenger mirror is broken and missing, so we're going to replace that, which I have. And then the window switch doesn't work. None of the windows work. Now, the door locks work. What about the mirrors? Or this mirror over here. No, those mirrors don't work. So I wonder if that blew a fuse to control that. But she just told me as I was talking to her that they put a Amazon switch in and that didn't fix it. That's pretty typical. I can tell you the AC works because I fixed the AC a while back. A couple years ago I fixed this AC. It works freaking amazing. So anyway, we're gonna look at the windows and we're gonna put the mirror in. We're gonna see what we gotta do at that point. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go look at some wiring diagram and check some fuses. All right, well, I found it. Unfortunately, it is part of the smart junction box. It's part of the board. There's nothing I can do about fixing these windows except put in a new smart junction box. All right, well, that's that on that job. Customer's good. Just spoke to her. So to recap, the smart junction box is where the problem is because the relay is part of the battery saver logic board, so you can't service it. So we need to get a smart junction box for that, and then we'll see what the vehicle's got at that point. So hopefully we'll get that sold. It'll take me a day or two to figure that out and get the right parts for it. So I got to run. I got more jobs to do. I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, well, I did not record the last job. I just forgot. It was a belt on an excursion, and I was supposed to go to another one, but I don't have the parts for it yet. So we'll cross that one another day, probably tomorrow or next week. So I'm actually home. I just pulled up. I got to do a little bit of cleanup here in the trailer. So I'll see you guys in the office, and we'll see what we did today, which doesn't feel like much. So we'll see what we got. All right, we're in the office. Got nothing to say at the moment except for let's go check out some numbers. All right, well, here you go. 6 jobs on the day, $172 in RO sales, average RO sales, 66% margin. Total sales of $1,036.11. Not too bad. Profit of $691, cost of $345. Not too bad of a day. So those numbers actually weren't that bad. I figured I was going to be a bit lower than that just because that one Ford Taurus job, I was expecting a little different of a job just because of what was said. But anyway, 1,036 today. This week, we're a little low because of today. I missed about $250 today. So, but outside of that, no big deal. We got tomorrow. Hang on, I got to go back onto my schedule for today because what did I just do? All right, so tomorrow I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 to 9 jobs tomorrow. 2 of them I may not be able to do because they may not be back in time when I'm done in that area. So that's going to be kind of an up in the air type of thing. But I got a bunch of estimates to do. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 estimates to get done. So I'm going to go do all that. And that's it. I'll see you guys on the next ride along, which will be tomorrow. So hopefully it's a good day. We got to hit that $5,000 mark. So anyway, that's all I got for you today. I appreciate y'all, and I will see you on the next ride along. Thanks for watching.